Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to live stream. Today is Sunday, August 27th, so we only have a couple of days left till the end of the month. And my rank right now is at rank 14 with 2 stars, and I'm hoping that that will be enough to make it so I only fall down to rank 15 at the next month. I want to be at rank 15. I don't know if that's exactly how this works. It's the first time I've ever gotten that high. If I start at 15 next month, or 14 even, then ideally in next month more ranked play. Most of my ranked play, however, that I'm doing is when I'm focusing, so it's not even doing the live streams. But ideally I would want to get up to rank 10 next month. Or more accurately rank 8 if 14 works. That way next month we start at 10, and then the next month we start at 5, and like if we could get all the way to rank 1, that would be amazing. Once you seem to get up in these higher levels, you're playing with more normal players that know what they're doing, and less random aggro decks that are at rank 24 and rank 20. It's a weird way this game works. I have a bunch of stuff to do, which I guess I'll just mostly do in casual play. We have a tavern brawl that I missed last time because of the solo adventure, which on that issue too, we got the 2 victories, and last streaming session wasn't really good. I'm in a weird position where my insomnia is messing up. So in the post show, I was literally falling asleep at the end, and I just I fell asleep for like a minute, and or it felt like a minute. It was probably just a few seconds.
Look at your hand, champion.
And at that point, I said, "Look, I'm just gotta end the post show too, because I'm not staying awake." And so, yeah, I've fallen asleep around 5 or 6 in the evening for 4 hours, and then staying awake all night until 6 in the morning, and then or later, and then maybe getting another 4 hours of sleep. So I've tried to get some of these other victories to get Prince Arathis. It's just gonna take time, and I'm thinking, in particular, I'm just gonna wait until there's some day in which I'm sick or doing something where I can't record, and then give it some tries. But I wouldn't be surprised if a year from now I still haven't found the time or bothered to do that. There's this tavern brawl where you build a deck and everything gets cheaper. Man, I just always go to the Murlocs. Let's do this tavern brawl. This was part of the previous thing, but the previous stream last week, but I didn't even look at it. I didn't even realize it. So I really am starting here just saying I'm dropping the ball completely, and I am. Like, I'm late starting today. Today's a Sunday, so I guess it's not going to be that big of a deal, because I bet not that many people come on to the stream anyways. I'm close to finishing recording Dead Space, but that's kind of a sad statement that it's taken me this long, because it's not a long game. But I'm close to finishing that, but I haven't gotten it. I'm distracting myself a lot with the Retro Pie, which is a project that's not even got anything to do with my channel. It's the only way I'd ever be able to do anything with it on my channel is if I had an external capture box and I was playing old games for some kind of footage or reference compared to new games. And that's more than likely just not ever gonna happen. So I haven't even done the whiteboard. I'm gonna try something. I figured I'd eventually get to the point where I just have the web pages that I get the news from. I open a bunch of tabs in Chrome, and then I usually read those articles and then write them down as a sentence, and then read them off the whiteboard. In this case, I think I'm just gonna have it all have the pages open. I've got them set and try this. It's probably not gonna work very well. I'm probably gonna just do a worse job than before, and I really do feel like I've been doing a bad job. You know, and I do it a lot too. I'm really not the type of person who's greatly suited for being a live stream YouTuber. Like, I'm late, which is a terrible quality a lot. I don't find the time to prepare. I'm lazy as all get out. Mahmood said hello. Hello, Mahmood. And Nightbot said hello too. If Mahmood stays around and wants to help me, it would be nice for the European stuff. Maybe I'll get rather lucky and finish all of the daily quests in the Americas challenge. But yeah, it's like I'm frazzled, I'm unorganized, I'm late, I'm lazy, I'm over-ambitious. I think after October, I'm stopping the kids' time slot of games, and I'm going to integrate it into the point-and-click time slot. So there's just one, instead of 5 games coming out per day, it becomes 4. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do that after Christmas. Not after Christmas, but after Halloween, because there's no Thanksgiving kids games really that I've found. There's no Christmas games really that I've found, and so waiting till the end of the year seems like a bad move. Even in the Halloween time, it's kind of like I could start actually on Halloween, honestly, and get rid of one time slot then. That's something I should consider as we're getting closer and closer. I know it's still a month away, but as I record things, that's uncomfortably close. So let's go with the news, and let's see. Basically, I'm just gonna read the web page, so there's gonna be a line of silence, which means some weirdness right there. But then I'll try to compose it down. So this Metal Gear Survive is the first page tab I have open. It's going to include farming and crafting. Boy, are they weird on that game.
That didn't quite hit the mark.
Like, clearly everybody knows that Metal Gear Survive is just Konami messing with Hideo Kojima's creation to irritate him. And also partially just because they don't know what to do with video games. But they're putting in the very, very basic things. Let's add zombies to Metal Gear Solid, a game that's never had zombies and had its own crazy thing. And now they're saying let's add farming and crafting, and almost certainly at some point they're going to say we've added microtransactions. So, like, nobody's really expecting anything from that game, and I don't think anybody's going to get anything from that game. Is it literally... Let's see. Can't play this. Hmm. Hmm. See, I could deal 1 damage. I should have frozen this guy. Hmm. Yeah, but there's nothing I'm gonna be able to win here. I don't actually need to do this tavern brawl, so I'm gonna leave it at this. Clearly you can see with a little bit of luck I could have won. All I would have needed was one bloodlust or thunderstorm, which maybe I didn't put bloodlust or lightning storm in there. Oh, 30 minions that cost less. What are our other things? Play the secrets and win the game with the mage. So let's come over here. And like I just said, we're not touching standard. So I can either play ranked or casual, and you know what, I think it's easy enough to just play casual and try to get victories real quick. Let's read this next article. This is really terrible. Like this is not the way you should do this. Just completely unprepared on the live stream. Shinji Mikami, who I believe is the executive producer of Evil Within 2 and may have worked on some of the Final Fantasies. As I'm skimming the article, like all the information I'm getting here could be wrong because I'm barely even able to read it. like it's barely even zoomed up. Anyways, yeah, he is on Evil Within 2, so I think he also did. It's saying some of the some other games, but he's talking about in this article how he's embraced PC games and how he says digital collections are better for Japanese people anyways because our houses are so small. And I welcome the new world of Steam and digital sales. Somewhat true, somewhat not true, though, because Japanese fans in general have for a long time been very trained to have a bookshelf of their favorite things, and they give a lot of things that aren't their favorite things, but it's not uncommon to have one bookshelf in your tiny houses, which is true, full of your favorite books, full of your favorite PCs, and on the sides of those books it's very nice and organized and it looks good and they enjoy that. They probably have if they're into figurines, they probably have some figurines. They're very visual. Like, their language is a very visual, pictorial based language. Their art, you've seen a Japanese game probably in your life, very colorful, very pictorial, heavily influenced through many decades of evolution from the original Walt Disney Steamboat Willie cartoons, but even influenced before even any Western influence by by their own art that was painted and their own start. So there's a lot of visual things there and physical things that the Japanese audience, as I understand it, likes, and getting them to go to digital is going to be a little bit more of a struggle, and we kind of see that because they most definitely haven't
Excuse me, you are on fire.
they haven't embraced Steam and digital up to this point, really. And it was really once Steam started opening up the visual novels that the Asian markets in general started to embrace it. Once they were a better served audience, that they started to embrace it. So my takeaway from this is, yes, they will eventually get to that, and they are slowly getting to that right now, but also it's worth pointing out that I wouldn't be surprised if it takes a couple more decades before the
Right away.
old men who run companies and who are in charge embrace these new ideas, or die out before these new ideas, so these new ideas can flourish, because they're very, very slow on how they run their businesses. And we've seen more of it, but I bet companies like Nintendo, Sega, Konami, I bet all of them refuse stubbornly to embrace digital for more decades to go. We've seen that with Nintendo. It's like the Nintendo Switch still doesn't have an eShop, as I understand it. They still don't embrace PC sales, and we've seen a lot of that. Let's see, how can we kill this? 2, 4. What you have to do? 4. And this. And this. This. And this. And then return. So it's nice to see Shinji Mikami is allegedly embracing it. He wants to release God Hand on PC. I think a lot of the actual creators of games are probably embracing PC as a way to sell games that they can't get their boss to let them to sell otherwise. So like they can trick their bosses to say, "Hey, let us sell this on PC. You don't care about PC anyway, so let's go do that."
I must protect the wild.
You asked for it.
Here's an article. Wolfenstein: The New Colossus is you're gonna team up with old and new allies. I heard somebody describing Wolfenstein: The New Colossus and saying he had this special armor that they don't know anything about, and clearly they don't remember the New Order, because in the New Order you spend special time finding the armor he's wearing.
Job done.
You don't get to wear it in the New Order, but you should know what it is and where it came from. Of course, I recently just played the New Order, so it's pretty obvious what it is. And it's even used in the exact same way. The implication is BJ Blazkowicz at the end of the New Order is going to have a broken spine or otherwise be unable to walk on his own. You start the whole game, they've all been talking about it in a wheelchair, and you play a significant portion of the game in a wheelchair, and then to get away from that, because that would be an awful thing to play the whole game, you're going to get this armor that's going to allow you to walk. There is another article that I might as well mention about Wolfenstein, where they're going to say Wolfenstein the New Colossus is going to be about politics, but it's not going to be about modern day politics. They're going to tell their own story. Fair enough. Like, if you try to talk about modern day politics in a game that's going to take 2 to 4 years or more to make, you're going to be so off the mark by the time it comes out anyways, there's no way. And personally, if I may just share an opinion here, I prefer killing real Nazis in a video game than fighting neo-Nazis in a modern day world. Frankly, because real Nazis were the military units of Germany at the time. There was idealized, there were reasons that, while Wolfenstein didn't really go into the backstory and the reasons why the Nazis were the Nazis too much, they did imply, like, this is what you had to do to survive. That people actually believed in a theology that they had a emphatic leader in Hitler. They're just more organized and more of a threat. Like, people nowadays try to say neo-Nazis in the United States are a threat. They really aren't. It's just not the case. I need to use my hero power 10 times. And so I would never want to see BJ Blazkowicz win the war in their alternate timeline and then come to a modern day and have the ideas of Nazism, which was rejected which is still rejected to this day in the United States by the highly vast majority of people. The important numbers. There's always small outliers.
For Dalaran.
Let's see. So I guess that kind of gets down to the is it okay to punch a Nazi in the face idea that it's getting propagated. It's a stupid thing. It's like, no, you should talk to them and convince them that what they're doing is wrong and educate them. Their way of thinking is wrong. Just utterly dismissing them, which is what that is in the exact similar way of what we don't want to have happen in the United States. Utterly dismissing the Jews in Germany, utterly dismissing immigrants in Germany, disabled in Germany, anyone who wasn't pure Aryan blood, is the beginning of how Nazism was able to do so much of what it did. So, dismissing anyone and isolating them and making them so not a part of your society kind of just pushes them into darkness, and in the darkness you can either form terror cells, or they get terrors attached to them because people aren't interacting with them. And so we need to consider everybody and try to educate everybody, not dismiss people and say they're not
they fell off a truck.
They're not worth existing. They're not worth, because everybody's still a human being at the end of the day. But I'm getting into political talk, and I'm probably not even phrasing it too well. I had to do way too much of that too. I recently did a survey for YouTube and ripped them a new one for all their stupidity on some of the creators they promote and the posts that they put on Twitters, and how one-sided their opinions are. And I'm telling them, look, I'm trying to impress on them, and I probably didn't do a good job. That I'm a video game reviewer, but it doesn't help my channel any, or it doesn't help YouTube in general any, if half of the people who have different opinions than your opinion in the world are felt like they're not welcome on this YouTube channel that should just be a dumb pipe and sadly, that's more and more what it feels like they're trying to do, and it's just not what we want. YouTube should be just a dumb pipe that, with all kinds of content, match the content that people want to see with the people that want to see it. Let's just keep playing. Moving on. What is this? You can now play old school arcade games within Thimbleweed Park. Interesting. Which old school? Seems like it's a bunch of made up old school things. Thimbleweed Park is one to get to, I suppose. Eventually, I'd like to get to it.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
In return, Hand of Fate is on sale. Wanted to see if I have all the DLC for it. Just the wild cards is the only DLC, and I already have that. It's a daily deal. Of course, I put myself out yelling at YouTube, so I wouldn't be surprised if my channel eventually gets deleted. Too. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds tops Dota 2 in Steam player count. Wolfenstein 3D is apparently influencing the new Colossus. I hope it does. Like, I would like more shooting elements in that game. There was a lot of welding and stealth sections that frankly were just unwelcome. Like in Wolfenstein the New Order, it could have been much better a game, and I suppose that's inherently a danger of sitting on a title for so long and not doing anything with it. So if kind of topical, if Half-Life 3 Episode 3 or Half-Life 3 came, like, I don't know how good of a game that would really be in modern days, and since it would almost certainly be all new people working on it, I don't know if it wouldn't just have a bunch of stealth missions and a bunch of potential welding missions or something else like that in the game. Things that you wouldn't have really seen in Half-Life. When I think Half-Life, I think it is a first-person shooter where you're running from point A to point B, and you're maybe occasionally fighting bosses, and that's kind of it. So it's sort of like Borderlands if there was no looting. I guess that would be
Into the breach.
be my closest example. Borderlands with more guns that do a little bit crazier thing without the looting so much. And in fact, Wolfenstein is kind of the similar things, like when you get away from the maze-like buildings of Wolfenstein 3D, which I doubt are coming back. It's kind of all the same game. Running around shooting with multiple guns. Heck, I'm playing Dead Space, and except for the horror theme,
I'm late.
there's you're just kind of running around from point A to point B with multiple different guns. Yeah, Dead Space is a probably great example of what Half-Life 3 could be, and I'm talking about Dead Space 1 and 2. I haven't played 3, so I don't know if I'd include that one. And it's really shocking to me that they abandoned Dead Space after 3. They messed it up, EA, but they've also kind of abandoned it. There should be some game out there like Dead Space, and maybe Dying Light, but then you've got the running, and you're fighting more zombies, and there's more crafting there, and it's not as much a horror element. So, so here's the full phrase on Wolfenstein 2. Wolfenstein 2 is political, but isn't a commentary on current topics, which I think is probably the best phrased PR speak you could say. It's going to talk about a fantasy world and what happened if Nazism really won. There's a big element that Americans in general are just going to have a hard time following, in the fact that that the United States surrendered to Germany after they nuked New York. That's kind of a hard thing to believe in for the United States, that the United States would ever surrender for anything. Not because it wouldn't be the right thing, but just because I think United States people have been for generations trained to be stubborn and never give up. It would be more likely that if we nuked in New York, we would just fight to the very last man. Which that would make more sense, as if they nuked New York and then the United States kept fighting and they just kept nuking the top 20 cities of population until there was barely barely a few thousand people left in all of the United States, like 100,000 for the entire landmass instead of the millions that there were. Secret of Mana is getting a remake, and it's coming to PC, and man, it does look good. Like, Secret of Mana is an old game, but I haven't played it, so remakes like this are really just going to be retellings of the story. Okay, good. We played the secrets, and we need to play some more minions, and we need to get some more victories, I believe. I know Secret of Mana was a beloved NES game, and it's kind of in this, I wouldn't fully call it chibi, but it is chibi. It's a little bit taller than chibi animation, just small characters, cutesy characters. It's coming to PC, but I imagine it's also going to try and include itself on, apparently it was a Super NES game. What am I trying to say? I bet it's gonna try to be on Switch and other things too. Let's see. I got a lot of videos here that I linked. Just a lot of YouTube videos of trailers and stuff. NIS America has a game coming out called Demon Gaze 2 for PS4 and Vita, and that's about all I can even say about it because it's just a YouTube video. and the opening movies for a Japanese game doesn't mean anything. It could be a top-down strategy game, it could be an RPG, it could be a visual novel, and so that's really no information. Let's see. In all honesty, I don't really know what to do as far as news. I don't even know if anybody really wants me to cover it. There is inherently this problem with the Knights of the Frozen Throne, which I still haven't released the edited version of that for week 3. I've been really bad. Really, really bad. Like 500 people watched that and 30 people talked in the chat. So do I follow the 30 people? Are they an actual representative sample of what everybody wants, or are they just a vocal minority? I guess I don't have a choice. I have to follow people in the chat because I'm not getting really any feedback otherwise. But I don't know if anybody wants the news. I have noticed nobody really has too much to say about news ever. But then again, that's kind of to be expected. News is boring. Let's just face it. But it's still something I think people should know. Being more informed about the game industry and trying to have better decisions, I think, for the entire game market is better. If people knew all their options, and where certain people knew their own options, then, wow, the way that triggered, I got 2 sheep for that. Then,
excuse me, you are on fire.
Then, yeah, that would, here's I guess how you could do that. That theoretical card I wanted, where you win the game if you have 5 sheep on the field. Or 7 sheep on the field. Something crazy.
Are you my master?
Yeah, and just knowing things in general. Just being better educated. Not just focusing on the drama, but knowing that there is drama too. Kind of helps. Here's a story. Crypt of the Necrodancer Studio has revealed a new game called Industries of Titan, and it's a city building strategy game set on Titan's largest moon, Saturn's largest moon, Titan.
I'll show them all.
I don't have enough mana. Quickly!
Right away.
So, I don't know what you can really take around that. Crypt of the Necrodancer is a small looking game that is cool and unique idea, but it's also pretty simple of a game. It's not a AAA game, and the images I'm seeing of Industries of Titan are really, really good looking. But maybe they look, it's not that difficult to make something look great and still just be a
Excuse me, you are on fire.
A city simulator. We saw that on City Skylines too. It's not too difficult. Putting it on Titan, making it a bit more futuristic, puts a spin on it, so I think that's probably a good idea, but I don't know how many people want to play this after having a couple years of playing Sky Cities, and if there's no open mod support really there. There's some weirdness to that too. You just gotta, I guess, wait and see.
right away.
Let's just power up his thing every time. Razer has a new Xbox One controller. It looks a little different. Like, I've never seen a review or anything. It looks like it's a better take on the Elite controller idea. So if it's a little cheaper, if it's only $10 more than a regular Xbox One controller, maybe I would consider it if the reviews came out really well. But there's a lot of ifs in that statement. Certainly, it looks like it has some chat buttons added to it at the bottom, so that you can mute yourself and talk to people. Ideally, this is exactly what you want. You want more people making more varieties of controllers, so to serve different audiences. But you know, the vast majority of players stay with the standard. They don't go past the basic Xbox One controller, the basic PlayStation 3 controller. I know that one of these articles also, there's a new controller by somebody, and I'll get to it, that it moves the buttons around and the controllers around to make a PlayStation 3 controller feel like an Xbox One controller. Much like Microsoft's and Sony's crossplay not really working together, it's really stupid that the controllers don't work together. That you can't just plug in an Xbox One controller via USB or wireless receiver and into a PlayStation 4 and it work, and vice versa. You can't plug in some kind of Bluetooth receiver into an Xbox One and just let it work. If anything, I think GameStop alone would love that. It would let them get rid of half of their inventory, potentially, of controllers. According to this, Overwatch players could face demotion in Season 6. If your skill ranking drops too low, down you go. I don't really understand what any of that means, but I'll take that as word. Like, I imagine bad players are going to get demoted and good players. Let's see, we're almost done with this, and the only thing as far as the daily quests is we need one more mage victory. And then that's kind of it. And we need to open the cards too that I already got. I played the Tavern Brawl before just to make sure. You know, I didn't want to run into that scenario where that I'd missed the Tavern Brawl completely. Let's see. Epic Games awards over 200,000 in new Unreal developer grants. They seem to do this once a year, and there's some interesting trailers there, but they're so late term. Like, you're gonna see these development ideas implanted in games that come out like 4 years from now or never.
Jaina versus Rexa. Let the hunt begin.
You asked for it.
A lot of these articles too aren't really articles, or they're just kind of advertisements for games coming out. Here's one talking about, like, The Evil Within's 2 has a feeding scene, as it's called, that makes the feeding scene in Resident Evil 7 look like, it says CBBs. Is that supposed to be crybabies or something else? I don't know. So I assume what they're saying is that it's even grosser. People are just gonna one up forced feeding scenes in video games until there's a revolt. PC Gamer has the best PC games 100. I'm gonna probably go through that. Although, I will say PC Gamer's love is based on a small group of people that work there's love of games. So, it doesn't... It's not as broad as I would like it to be. It's not... It has some clear blind spots and preferences. Battlefront 2's space battles apparently don't look so good right now, according to this article. So maybe they'll work on that. Let's see. I don't even know what that... There's a game apparently called Sig Manual of the Primes that showed up at Gen Con. And here's a great example of why news should be covered. I have no idea what this game is. I'm not even sure it is a game. It kind of looks like a comic book. Honestly. And I do follow a couple comic book people, so this might be a comic book. Yeah, this is a comic book. No, wait a minute. It says it's a game about discourse in a sense, but one uses dialogue about belief to tell a story of planar intrigue and focused on relationships. So, some of these video game sites let people post things as articles for free, like just community members or random people. A lot of times it's just advertisement too. So, like, but that's totally a game that we don't even... I've never even heard of, and that's the thing I want more than anything, is to hear about the games I'm not hearing about.
We have many secrets.
This. I should have talked about it by now, but an ex-Valve writer, the guy who was, I think, mostly in charge of writing Half-Life 2 Episode 2, and he was one of, let's just face it, all of the writers that quit Valve recently, and they all quit pretty similarly to the point. I think finally they all got the message, or Gabe Newell finally left it, came out directly and said, look, we're just never making another Half-Life game. It's just not going to happen. He kind of did this like fan fiction as the person who was writing the general story. It was a fan fiction / note that wrapped up Half-Life 2 Episode 3, which there was no Episode 3, just so he got all the points out, and he put it out there. I guess everybody who's a Half-Life fan should play it. In my perspective, as someone who is, I suppose you would say, lucky enough to not have played any of the Half-Life series, this just tells me more and more to not bother. Like, the story's never going to be finished, and I don't enjoy stories that aren't finished. I never have, and I don't think I ever will. So, knowing that, like, for the people who have sadly already fallen in love with that story, go and check that out. It will fill in a lot of the main plot points. It sounds like it's not a fully written novelization of it's not like a novelization of the episode 3. It's certainly only one letter and not the 500 plus pages you'd probably want of dialogue and interactions and small little things that would make it feel like a real inner story. And in a weird way, I guess that's probably the next thing you would want to do is if I was a writer at the game, I'd probably try to write a fan fiction and have a lawyer on my publisher's lawyer look it all over and say, can this be sold as parody, or are we going to get sued? And then put it out there, sell the book, make some money, satisfy as many people as you can.
We have many secrets.
Buttercup.
I found it first.
Like, that's what I would do. I wouldn't just put out another letter. I kind of get the feeling that also putting out this letter is a statement to probably Gabe Newell directly. Like, maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but it feels like people are saying,
Excuse me.
that the writer is saying the reason I did this is because you wouldn't let us actually finish it, or you wouldn't support the development of the game, or because you just ran Steam the wrong way, in the wrong way for the games at least. It kind of implies that there's not going to be this big group. Like, with those 4 writers all quitting, one would think some company like Ubisoft or EA would swoop them all up and say, why don't you guys make something new? And maybe that's exactly what is the case here. And we'll find that these people are all working at some new studio on some new project, and that will be that. Certainly a possibility that happens. That would be a nice outcome. Half-Life itself, I think, is dead. But there's no reason why you couldn't take the elements you liked from Half-Life and make a new series and just have a spiritual successor from the writers who, let's face it, the writers are kind of the more important part than the programmers now, because the programmers have come and gone. They've done other things. Working at Valve, I've said it before and I think it's worth saying again, is probably very good for your for a stable lifestyle, but very bad for your career. Like, because you're just gonna have nothing in your portfolio to say that you've done for years, or it's not gonna be interesting things at the very least. Let's see. Curiosity killed the warlock is this article, and this seems like just an opinion piece. It's not even talking specifically about any game.
An incredible discovery.
Let's find another one of these in the turn. There's a GoldenEye source, which apparently it looks like it's using the what is this? GoldenEye source is probably using Counter-Strike engine or the Half-Life engine. I don't even know what it's called. I should know that. Come to think of it. So I don't know. GoldenEye in general is been run terribly. It doesn't run well, I think, on emulators, and remaking the game in Source doesn't. I mean, Nintendo remade the game, I believe, too. I just don't think they can re-release it. And there's a lot of happy memories there for people who are nostalgic, but it's not really that good. In real honesty.
I don't have enough mana.
So, as a little mod, I guess if nobody puts too much time into it, it would be fine. But it's certainly not a game that you could get the license for and sell. Apparently, the Call of Duty World War II beta is free on the Hong Kong PlayStation Network. I bet that's a bug. I'm
late. I'm late.
I'll never tell.
Let's see. A lot of these articles have updates and updates. Apparently the beta is now live for all regions. Apparently the beta is supposed to be free for everybody, hopefully. Alright, here's more information that I would have combined if I had read this stuff before. The Secret of Mana is being 3D remastered for PlayStation 4, PC, and Vita. So maybe not a full remake. Demonic Angel is online saying yo. Yo spelled that way is one of the things that won't trigger Nightbot. Spelling it that way won't trigger Nightbot either. In fact, I don't think I have any way you spell yo, even if you just typed YO. I don't think it would trigger Nightbot to say hello. But most of the hi, hellos, there's a lot of things and a lot of feedback. I want to put more Easter eggs and more functions into Nightbot. If we can get close to 100% accuracy out of it. Like Demonic Angel says, who's Nightbot? Nightbot is the automated moderator in the chat now. So if you type in hi or hello, he'll say hello to you, and he runs a secret playlist, which he hasn't mentioned that yet, where you can type exclamation point song request and type and request the next song to be your song, and you can there he is, and he'll every 15 minutes or so I have him programmed to tell you what song is playing.
Job's done.
And then you can click on that and it should take you to a playlist where you can listen on your computer. This way I don't get content ID'd, and people can listen or not listen on their own choice, so it's kind of a nice thing. Nightbot can do a few other things, but most of them are things that I would have to type into the chat, and it's still beta software. But it has some Easter eggs, so if you do exclamation Easter eggs, you can play with it and try some other comments. It's a way when people are in chat to play with it and communicate. There's the song list. There, Nightbot puts it out.
A tactical error.
What is this game? Here's another game. You misspelled Easter. E-A-S-T-E-R. Eggs. E-G-G-S.
Embrace the light.
Job's done.
Donut Country is a physics adventure game coming next year from Annapurna Interactive. I've never heard of this company. I've never heard of this game.
All realities, all dimensions.
So each one of those commands you can type in and it will give you a different response. And I think there's probably a way I could randomize these responses too, but right now they're very sedentary. So more ideas, more suggestions. To keep it fresh and interesting. And demonic angels, that's ha ha ha. I didn't type that one right. Oh. I need to fix that one. Yeah, this game Donut Country, you play as a raccoon. Interesting. I want to do more research on that one. Here's an interesting news story. Final Fantasy 15 director says nude mods are up to the moral sense of the community. So, I love this response more than anything else. Like, instead of saying we're gonna censor it, they're just telling the players they're gonna say, look, if you want to put in the nude mods and you want to play that game, that's all up to you. That's your moral sense, not ours. And I love that response too. Like, what a great way to respond, to not take any of the pressure from either sides. Like,
Job's done.
Here's a Your Gamer game about Football Manager not being that good. I guess I can't really say too much about that other than there's a small niche I know of people who play Football Manager. And Demonic Angel says Nightbot is cool. I think it's cool. Like, I spent an extra night, which probably was the thing that messed up my insomnia and has really caused me to stay up late. Just playing around with it, setting up Easter eggs, getting the timing right. I didn't want it to spam the chat forever. You have to put a space between song and request, and then type in the name of the song you want, and it will search Google and get something close to it.
Time to die.
Oh, apparently you don't have to put a space in. I didn't know that. So, like, it's not 100% accurate. It will just search YouTube for videos, pretty much, and mostly get it. But it's not guaranteed. as I was testing it out, somebody typed in Trump random, and it pulled up a video of Trump, the Hearthstone card player, with a random in his title. Dragon-Hearted. Let's see if it finds something. Dragon-Hearted, a Minecraft original music video by Captain Sparkles, has been added to the queue position in number 2. Is that the song you wanted? Let's see. That's awesome. Yep. Yep. And there's some limitations to stop people from spamming the same song over and over again, but it's just this community playlist. I also set up Discord while I was playing with that. I'm not sure how much I'm really going to work with that, but now if you friend me on Battle.net, it synchronizes over to Discord, or maybe I'll put a link out for the server so people that are fans of mine can talk to each other. I don't think I'm really going to have too much interaction or moderation with the Discord server though, so I may very easily just never look at it and let people do whatever they want to do on there, and never really be there. Discord seems to be much more focused as a Skype replacement than as a YouTube chat replacement, and the YouTube chat is very much more important because the more chat messages that happen, the more my video gets recommended when the chat messages are on YouTube. And because of that, like, the Nightbot is also designed to give something interesting for people who are chatting to do and chat more. This is a prime example. Right now, Demonic Angel is on the chat, and really no other human being is on the chat except for me, and I'm not typing in the chat, and yet he's finding reasons to type a few more sentences. Here we have another Demonic Angel goes, what's queue position number 2? It means in the playlist of the songs, the song that's playing right now will finish and your song will play next. Q being a line that the phrase Q isn't used in the United States as often as it is in the rest of the world. So it's a playlist line. So if you go back up and scroll to that playlist link and click on it and maybe refresh the page, your song should be the next one to play. And I didn't want it to spam the chat, so it only tells you what song's playing every 15 minutes, so most songs are about most songs are at most 5 minutes, so there's almost a guarantee you're going to miss miss some. You can type in asterisk song space current and it will tell you what's playing right now. But I didn't want to spam the whole chat that way. What link? Ask Demonic Angel. Let's see. Nightbot here. Song list for this channel.
Hello.
Is copy link address and paste, and that's the link. I'll rephrase it.
I found it first.
That should work. And see if you type in song and then current, it'll tell you what's playing right now. it's kind of not a linear thing either. You can always, I think, go back and just listen to a song from the beginning. So unlike a real radio station where you might start in the middle of the song, here you can cheat your way into releasing. You can listen at your own pace. Some people, as I understand it, song current, nothing is playing on my side. It should just be playing out of your web page browser. Why? It should just be playing out of your browser. Is the idea. It's that's why I call it a secret playlist. Maybe I should call it a silent playlist. Let's see. Is there no way? Does this not work? I haven't. I'm still working on this. Is this not playing any audio? I'll have to play with that. Like, the idea was that people should be able to listen to it itself.
What to do?
Maybe you have to click the link itself. Maybe that's the trick. Oh, that kind of sucks. If that's the case. Yeah, the third line there, if you click the link, it'll start playing there. There is no audio. Maybe the playlist link is the one that plays.
Runs out on me.
If that's the case, then maybe I should get rid of some of this.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
Like, yeah, I've only had this for 2 streams, so let's see. Song list is here. That's what we clicked on. And then when you click on the SoundCloud link, that plays. Yeah, that seems like that needs to be worked through some more. It's showing me what is playing but not playing it. When you click the link to the SoundCloud link, it just shows you a bunch of WAV files. Let's see. The only way I could fix this is this is a bad idea to do, but let's fiddle with it here. I'll come into my audio file and demute this. Yep, it plays it if you click the link in the SoundCloud file, but you're right that this song request page itself, so you just would have to stay on the page, and when the song is done, hopefully it would refresh to the next one. The thing here is this: I'm trying to use this system in a way it's not designed to use. Clearly they want you to have the music playing over the stream, and as you heard, it was really loud. My ears just got violated. Lol, JK. Are you high? My man says a new person on the chat. Memphis. Nope, I don't do that. I don't look down on people that do, but I've always felt like I was stupid enough without taking drugs to make myself less mentally alert. See, the exclamation point high versus just typing in the words high tells Nightbot that you know how to use the key phrases. Therefore, you're one to keep an eye out on. The asterisk cool doesn't do anything. What should be Demonic Angel? What should be the response for asterisk cool? What would be a funny joke to come back from that? And Mantha says, "Oh, okay, cool." I know my voice often sounds that way. Like, also I'm just suffering from insomnia and lack of sleep, so I know some people get that impression. It's happened before that I'm high, but like I can barely do what I'm trying to do sober. If I was high, I'd probably be a lot funner, but a lot more entertaining. But it's not for this channel.
Put this apple on your head.
Demonic Angel, what do you mean? Well, I can have any command or any word spit back any response. So, if you type in asterisk cool, what should Nightbot say back? Should it say hot? Should it say, nah, you cool, man? Should it say, I love you? I custom programmed all these jokes. It's not like it's an artificial intelligence or anything. So what I'm asking is, what would you as the audience member want it to say? What is a good response? Because I can make as many Easter eggs as I want, at least within limit. Maybe there's like a 255 limit. I'm still trying to get this mage victory. Interesting news. Demonic Angel goes, I don't know. Alright, fair enough. I'll think of something eventually. Here's an interesting news story. To thwart key resellers, the developers of Darkwood have released their game on a torrenting site. Now, what I'm trying to figure out here, does that mean that the game is completely free? The Demonic Angel tried asterisk buy, and he goes, oh, that one's cool. Thumbs up for you. Yep. Yep. I thought it was funny. I think it's a nice little side project to do. Let's see. Yeah, the game is totally free and unaltered via torrent. So if you want to go play Darkwood and you find a torrent out there, I guess there's a decent chance that's the official torrent that you're supposed to get the game from. Like the ping pong commands in particular should say different things each time, and I haven't set them up that way yet. Right now they say the same thing. There we go. Now, Demonic Angel is playing ping pong with the Nightbot, which is exactly what it's designed to do. So let's open this pack and then end this recording, and then we'll continue the live stream in the European account, since we've gotten all the daily quests done. And I don't want to play any ranked play. I want to stop right where I am and not lose any stars and see what happens at the end of the month. And there's nothing else to do. Yeah, Demonic Angel says, yeah, they should be different. The flip a coin, asterisk flip 2 should be different. No, versus, says Demonic Angel. Are you saying you want to play me? Send me a friendly challenge. And we'll play. Oh, and there's one more thing that happened. I forgot. Because I opened so many packs on Knights of the Frozen Throne, Hearthstone Blizzard told me that I should have gotten one more legendary. And they gave me 2,000 dust. So now I have 2,300 dust. So, of the classic cards that you can craft, I can make a legendary. What should I make? Like, Nate Pagel? Probably not. No, I don't think so. Harrison Jones is a good one to think about. Alien Storm Rage. Let's see. Is there perhaps a legendary that gets used that's not a classic card? Like legendaries. And we'll switch to all cards. It's gotta be a neutral card. Like, I could get this pirate, the patches one. Certainly. That would make some sense, but no. I could get Arthas, that's a brand new legendary. Maybe the Black Knight. Maybe I don't have that. I could certainly a lot of the Knights of the Frozen Thrones. I don't think I would want to play that. There should be a legendary that sticks out. Something that absolutely everybody should have. I wanted this one back when mechs were a thing, but now it doesn't make any sense to have that. 1 second. Just give me 1 second to pick a card and then I'll accept. Sorry. Just 1 second. Come on. Should I get Justicar Trueheart? I think I want to get him, maybe. What legendary? Grinding Lich King for Tide Caller. Rockpool is Mully is Pain. This is Tragic Master. Must have a priest for next year. Why not? Asks Demonic Angel. No, I'm gonna play you. I'm just trying to pick a card right now. Summon, like, I can pick one of these three. Let's stick with this. Do I want random spell for each spell that's been cast? Targets or all your Death Rattle games. I'm gonna take this. I think that's good enough. Alright. So there's my legendary I picked. I could have done a hero replacement in Frost thing, but that's it. Alright, this is where I'm going to stop for this recording, but stay tuned for if you're watching live. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. if you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.